Hey everyone, Luke Walsh here with the Villa Group. Wanted to give you a quick market update on the North Shore of Maui, respectively between the two zip codes of Paia and Haiku, and what that market looked like for 2025 and some insight on what we might potentially see in 2026. Now, 2025 was a little bit of a slower year, relatively similar across a lot of markets here on Maui and respectively across the US, given the high interest rates and a lot that was going on the exterior level. 2025 median price range between Paia and Haiku, we saw a price range of around 1.385 million. A little bit higher on the Paia side, respectively, with homes closer to the ocean and a little bit more luxury selection. Those were around 1.7 throughout, whereas Haiku was in the 1.2 million range for the median price. Closed sales total across both markets were around 78 units. Average days on market were 118, and price per square foot between the two averaged around 1,100 per square foot for each residential home sold. Now, the big price or difference there for 2025 versus years past was days on market. So 118 days is nearly doubled days on market what we saw 2 years ago. So buyers have put brakes on speed, but not exactly on value. We haven't seen a huge price drawdown in a lot of these properties, but it does bring a lot of leverage for buyers when coming to the table. So there's not that feeding frenzy, usually of multiple offers, a little bit more buyer leverage, and a little bit of give and take from both sides when it comes to finding that sweet point that might work for both parties. Now, inventory technically is up with that slowdown of buyers. It's up nearly 18% year over year. And to be honest, the 1.3 median price range has been kind of hovering in that area for a while. And most buyers are kind of accustomed to that at this point. We're not really expecting any major drawdowns in 2026, any market crashes. But we do expect maybe inventory to drop a little bit as it kind of coincides with interest rates. So we're seeing some of the lowest interest rates we've seen in over 2 years. Right now, they are around 5.6 to 5.8, depending on when you get in at the moment. And we think that will stabilize, and most predictions are that will continue to come down, which obviously will have an effect on what buyers can qualify for. With that said, we kind of are expecting some bit of maybe spring surge when people get a little bit more accustomed to the interest rates coming down, maybe finding some more flexible ARM loans. But given that, we may see a broader change in the fixer-uppers versus the turnkey ready-to-move-in properties. The last few years, there hasn't been a huge gap in some of those, whereas some of the fixer-uppers in Haiku per se, we're still relatively high. We're starting to see that category of homes kind of sit longer and maybe have to do several price drops before finding the right buyer. And then in addition to that, the Haiku market will see a new wave of families when it comes to CPR properties, given that the additional dwelling, the ADU on a lot of these agricultural zoned lands, which takes up a lot of the Haiku category, can now be up to 1,500 square feet. That's a big difference for a family, for as the past several years, they've only been allowed for that additional dwelling to be 1,000 square feet. So that 500 goes a long way for a family with kids. As far as current market goes, right now there's 56 active listings of residential homes between the two markets, Paia and Haiku. There's 39 active residential homes in Haiku and 17 currently in Paia. And for vacant land, there's 20 vacant land listings at the moment. only 4 in Paia, whereas 16 up in Haiku. Again, Haiku has a lot of that agricultural zone property, bigger acreage, and a lot more breathing room, whereas Paia, you will find that luxury beachfront kind of coastal living, beach town. So, but that's also very attractive to a lot of buyers. Um, with that said, there's not too many pendings right now. North Shore in total, there's homes, 13 pending at the moment, 3 lands pending at the moment. 2 of my favorite listings that stands today is actually one we are in right now. It is 49 Leleaka, beautiful cottage, 1,000 square foot home sitting on over 4 acres of a lush private property, as well as a vacant land listing I have listed over in the gated community of Haiku Town Acres. That one sits over just 1.6 acres of land, and that one is listed at 1.3 million. This one, 49 Leleaka, is listed at currently 2.5. I'll provide both of those links in the email below. And I look forward to hearing from any of you. If you're interested in selling or buying, be happy to give you a little bit more in-depth report on each specific property, neighborhood within these 2 zip codes. And I hope this was helpful. And I look forward to sharing more with you in the near future. Have a great day. Aloha.